Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Olympus Sky. It has been 2 weeks ago since my last video. I took some time, and this is basically one of the reasons why I took an extra week for this one. This is absolutely crazy. It's kind of a big statement for me to even discuss mining on the moon. And I always heard that, and people gave me links. I saw things, checked out things for myself, and it was always vague here and there. So I never really could conclusively say yes, some ancient civilization was mining there, and I never made it really that clear on my channel. And some people automatically think that I'm talking about aliens right now inhabiting the moon and mining right now. This channel is more about looking for the lost past, just for simple clues. We don't know where the moon came from. It might be like a billions years old, hurled in from solar system to another, and then it ended up here next to Earth. All crazy stuff, everything's possible, and I always look for those small signs, and I was really impressed by this. This is really high resolution, and we'll talk about that and the source and everything, but you got the links in the description, and we'll talk about that later. And at first sight, you might say, okay, we're just looking at a couple of craters, and I hope you can stick with me by this. And like I said, I've always been saying, mining, this and that. I'm really skeptical about this. And I can't really give you a percentage on how convinced I am, actually, due to this image. And, I kind of... It's really rare to see these kinds of images. And let's talk about this. I prepared a lot of stuff here. I hope you can sit here with me. It is pretty important. Don't know if there will be a part 2 or not. But the enhanced versions... So this is the original one, and I put a lot of effort into trying to recover as much as possible and retaining the original things that you see in there. We will switch between A and B and C and you name it, and just to show you that what we're looking at here is actually a valid thing. And this is pretty crazy. At the end of this video, actually already now, I do feel that I am a lunatic at this point for getting into this topic. And if you're new to this or just checking this out, hold on, we'll check this out. We'll talk about things that convinced me. Why am I convinced? That's a really important question, even just in life, just like you always hear about these wars about religions, and I'm not religious, and you're stupid, and you're stupid. Well, if people just stop fighting each other, listen to each other, and like ask questions, why is there a billion people thinking like this, and why is there a billion people thinking like that? Maybe they both have like interesting facts. So you always listen to each other. Don't start a new war. So let's get into this. We got this. Well, I'm going to call this for now a crater, and we will get into this deeper and deeper. And a lot of things going on in here. Hope I got everything set up right here. Of course, need to set up the brush back again to normal standards, because this image is of high resolution. Opacity back up, and I think let's make this 2 pixels for now. I think that will be better for this video. Excellent image. I'm really impressed, and this is pretty crazy. So let's get into this without hesitation. First of all, my very first thought, and probably yours as well, is an asteroid came in from this angle. Alright, really bad arrow here, but I hope it's okay, that's better. So you get the point, and then kind of you got these ramps and everything, and that created the shape of the whole crater. So okay, I thought, okay, it's just a crater. Looking into this, and actually we will compare other craters as well, and blast forces and everything. Don't know if I prepared the blast forces and everything. That will probably be for another video, not sure, but we will see. So excuse me, and let's go. And as you can see, some very interesting features in this crater. Now, considering the size of the crater, I can't give you an accurate size of the crater. We're talking about a couple of atomic bombs of power, probably exaggerating here, but think of thousands of TNTs exploding, and you name it. So it's quite big, that's for sure. It's definitely a couple of miles big here. What is very interesting when you think about the perspective of an asteroid actually coming in from that angle that I've just shown you, is you have these small features. You have to check out these small features, and these small features, again, excuse me, is one of these things. So if a comet came in from that direction, I would not expect to have just this simple, slight, very kind of symmetric curve to it. And again, when you think about the blast coming in from that side, you would think that everything would be leveled. Now, alright, sure, you have craters and things will be created in the middle. Got an example here for you, made a video about it. Be sure to watch that one. It's the same thumbnail. You can see how smooth it is around there, and just one simple thing in the middle. You got craters like this, really smooth here. You know, the impact is so strong. Yet, you can see very interesting features here. Once we will get into the features, I hope that you will be mind blown, because something is definitely more going on. It might not even be a crater. So let's check this out step by step. Where shall we start? We start with the very small features here, is the lines, and the lines are very important. Again, I will zoom in for you, and let's draw out lines. Now the interesting part is, because I have to go over this again just to remind you, and I'm so sorry for making such a boring intro. And let me see, where is it again? This is the kind of asteroid comet that exploded in Russia, you name it. And that thing was about 49 feet wide, which is about 18 meters in diameter, I guess. And 1,100 people were injured. That blast was massive, and it's such a small thing. When you compare this again to this crater, you will see that we're talking about enormous forces here. So how is it possible that we're getting so much intact features here? If this is a crater, then this crater was formed first, and then what we see now, these features here in the middle and the ridges and everything, getting to great extent into this in great detail, they should be placed later on. So if it is a crater, it would make sense to kind of explain why these features are in there. So let's start drawing out. What features are you talking about? You're talking about features, this and that, and craters, name it. I just have to refresh your mind, and this is really important to understand. We will look at this. You can see just a simple line. We're starting really easy here. You can see this shadow here. It's elevated, and it's a pretty thick beam. We will look again, and we will see here more lines going into this way. Very interesting. We got, let me show you here. Now this one is pretty neat, I must say. There's a line here, literally like very vague. I'll try and answer a little bit later. You see that this line is going in some kind of coating. When I talk about coding, you think about a cable, like your internet cable, whatever. It's kind of coded to protect the inside, so you can see a line going inside of this protection thing case going that way. So it would make sense, I guess. Well, okay. So let's check this out. Another feature here, which you would probably miss, but you can see that those lines and everything are going and eventually into this big conduit where kind of things get clamped together, going into one main system. Let me draw this out, because you might think, okay, what system? I'm not seeing everything, and everything's vague. You're showing here me. Let me see. Let me grab the other layer here. When I start drawing this out here, you can see it makes sense by the lighting. We got a shadow here. So this is going up, and again on the other side you can see kind of these little small broken features going to the back, while kind of protecting or shelling out these kind of lines going through here. So there's something way more going on with these lines. Some interesting lines here as well. Let me see. That's a bit too bright, but alright, let's keep it as bright as it is right now. Because going back to the whole comet thing, asteroid, blast, whatever, is if it would indeed come from the angle like I told you, hold on, wrong layer, then I would expect that it will kind of hit here. How is it possible that this kind of feature that is standing up in the air, kind of covering these two cable lines, features things, that it survived? How is it possible that this isn't all leveled? It's impossible to have these features with what I'm trying to describe here. If an asteroid came from that angle and blasted this kind of triangular shape here into a formation like you see right now. So it started to really raise questions for me, like what is going on there. Again, just a couple more interesting lines here. Again, wrong layer, excuse me. Gonna get back into this. As you can see, it's going then down, and it kind of, if you follow this precisely, very annoying. Well, don't know what I did here. You can see it's going back again to this cluster. Very interesting. But again, like I told you, it's where you look at, for example, this line as well. You know, you can follow the debris here, whatever, and it eventually gets there. It's elevated here. We have an elevated line here. We have an elevated line here. And this is pretty thick. And I'm wondering how the hell this happened and how this line here got into this tube. You can literally see this line get into this. And remember, the enhanced versions of this painstaking image really took some time to get some clarification out of this. Is you can literally see it go inside. Hope I didn't destroy that layer. Okay. And so that's you know, a coincidence, I guess. So looking further and trying to analyze this and to make some sense out of this, I was looking at this, and just from the whole mining perspective, you would expect, you know, to have an inner ridge, like you're going down, 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 trying to get down, and you can see it's destroyed and everything, and so it's tough to explain this. It's, you can only see a layer here, you see a layer here, and you got the outer ridge. So we might be missing a couple of layers, who knows. But you know, you gotta say this is interesting, and when I look at this, this should be the outer ridge of the whole crater, but it almost seems like this entire hole was actually made artificially, and I can't believe I'm talking about this. This is definitely something I don't usually do. This is in fact the first time, but it took several years to get at least something that comes in the neighborhood of mining on the moon. Now there's a little bit more going on here. I wanted to show you this little feature here. You know, I thought, like, you can see this kind of leg going out of here. This kind of weird, kind of dome-like cylindrical shape. It's a bit too bright, unfortunately. But it almost seems like a separate thing, like standing up. It looks a bit artificial, but I don't know. Just missing a couple of pixels, but it does look very interesting. How could it survive this extremely strong blast? And when we go to, again, like for example, this image, totally leveled, and I don't care what size the asteroid was, it was definitely bigger than the one in Russia. Again, you see just something in the middle, rest is all flattened. It all depends, you know, on the situation. But it's too much survived the whole blast. And that's my whole point here. This is something more than just a crater, just by sheer logic. And that's why I just love to check this out. Really, really extraordinary image. And let's check this out as well, and we will just switch back and forth. This is the original one, so I was like, because I wanted to check out this area right here. Cool, okay, right here. Okay, so let's check this out. Hey, looking okay, the quality, meh. Okay, so I went a little bit deeper, and went step by step, and I will switch just a bit here, so maybe you'll see the legitimacy in it, and try to explain a bit of it. As you can see here, you can see kind of a darker spot with, if I zoom in completely, hard to explain this. You see kind of thickened pixels and everything. I will switch now forward, which was just the beginning of what I was doing. And you can see that a lot of this interference already in the early phase when I was working with this image starts to disappear, and the only thing that is being left are the main lines, those that are of interest for us. Even when looking at, and just for the skeptics here, maybe you're new, maybe you're not new, let's go over this. You can see a lot of junk here in maybe your words, who knows, or other words. Lots of debris here, lots of interference. When we all just try and get rid of it, even at this, in this state, you can just look at this, and this is actually still valuable for research, for scientists, whatever, because by these broken pixels here, this kind of disturbed places do indicate how more or less the debris kind of where it is going. You can see by this whole distortion, it's going like this. So okay, you know, going step by step, you can see here, alright, the only thing that really matters is now left in this image. And again, by the way, I'm noticing something very interesting. That is very interesting. Hold on, just on the fly again, really old school. Let's check this out here. Just a tad here. Let's see what's going on. Don't want to mess this up, you know, that's the whole thing about doing this on the fly. But I would definitely say, let me see. Again, you kind of rectangular with little shape here. I wonder how this remains intact when there's such a powerful blast going on. With actually, when you look closely, you got almost like a bit of like a crater with a kind of rectangular shape in the middle. Alright, enough about that. By the way, last couple of things about this crater, and we will look at something crazy as well. Last couple of things, really interesting. Hope you like this video. Leave a comment in the description and be sure to subscribe and leave a like. I mean, this is quite rare to see this. As you can see, really interesting 90-degree angle here. As you can see, this part is definitely elevated. So I'm thinking this might be a bit higher up and going lower and lower. And we get something here going down in the middle. Really interesting crater. How could this little small line actually exist and form in this way? Also, another interesting feature I wanted to talk about here is how to explain this even. Where to begin? Okay, we got the quality, everything covered here, you name it, and I'm actually pretty satisfied with the result here. Else I wouldn't be talking about such a strange topic, definitely for my channel. A lot of strange things going on my channel, but this is, I am quite amazed. As you can see, it kind of goes in a circular pattern. When you go here and look at this line, exactly this one. Let me zoom in just a little bit extra. This line here is going to the back, it's going downhill. And it's kind of going up. And this shadow here, I think this is actually that kind of middle structure is going in like a dome-like shape, kind of over the edge. Now it could be just the illusion of the all natural formation. If you still believe that it is an asteroid impact, I honestly could not tell you if this is actually made by an impact. I'm just astonished by the details in this image, and this is Apollo 15. So we're going some, like, I don't know, 50 years back in time. Let me show you this guy. I would love to give this guy credit. Is the Keith Langley. I don't know if that's his name or something, but so many likes for him. So many credits. Just awesome guy. Whenever you're looking for an image, just check this website. I link in the description. Really awesome. And we compare this to, let's see, where is it? Come on, I just prepared it. Of course, I should have prepared it. And somewhere, let me see. So this is, I'm actually looking here right now for the gigabyte big file at the moment, and I'm looking for that link though. Here's 15, here's that, where is it? How could I have clicked that away? So just for sheer perspective, just let me try this really quickly, because I think you do have to realize this is, alright, we got this, let me copy here what image this is. Alright, it's right here, excuse me. So as you can see, the right edge thing, when you try to Google it, it's really hard. Let's go to one of the official sources. Here's the official source. It's, you can't enlarge it. This is the max quality you are being given. And I've actually checked out if there's actually one of the gigabyte files of this image. The better quality, amazing. Look at the file size and everything. It's not in there. So I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm still looking. I want to be exaggerating everything, but that is kind of frustrating, more or less. I still use these images, so just to compare, I did this so often with the Keith Langley site. If it is actually what we're looking at, yes, this is official what you're looking at. Yes, this is the image, and that Keith Langley, I don't know where he gets the image from, but it's nice to have that. Let's continue on the anomalies, because this is pretty interesting. We will just continue to finish off this crater. Definitely. Let's check this out. I have to really talk really fast, but this video will be definitely in the 20-minute mark, excuse me. Again, really straight line. As you can see, you can look at the shadows here. It's pretty straight. So even though you have a lot of debris, you can still draw this line. And how is that possible when the creative thing is when the blast should be so powerful? It only really leaves one option. Whatever we're looking at was created after the impact. And then, I don't know, it deteriorated, whatever the reason is. You can have a million reasons. Again, I also want to talk about this. You know, it kind of seems to a weird pattern, like connecting to this weird. You can see this arch. It really has to be some kind of weird dome-like structure. Definitely the arch was convincing for me enough, even though you can see here it's going downhill, then like making an up spike. I don't know, I think it's empty here, but who knows? And this more net speculation. So again, really interesting about this crater is when you look at this, it's kind of mind-blowing. Let me see what we will do here for the best viewing opportunity. We will go with this, and as you can see, there's some kind of how this is actually curved as well is very interesting, because this would mean that the asteroid or impact to come like this. Like, it almost seems like it's a bit curved, so that the impact, the asteroid had to make a curve before entering this cave or whatever. Could be nothing, not even a cave, but it does scream a bit like a cave. And this is so weird. And this is also weird in this video. And honestly, gotta say, even though you subscribed here for the last couple of years, you stuck with me. Thank you so much for staying here, giving so much feedback. I really appreciate that. Do leave that like again, and leave that comment as usual. I really enjoy that. And again, it's actually thanks to a comment that I actually got back to that Keith Langley site. And again, you know, like I said, this again could be another cavity going on here, a little cave, who knows. It's strange. It's really interesting just to look at this feature. Even if this is natural, this is highly unique. The details in this, they do not come like this anymore at all for the past 50 years or so. I realized that we really have a problem at NASA. Well, some people just talk about, just leave a comment, why you're bashing NASA so much. Is, you know, free speech. You know, I have a problem here. We all see this. If you really like space, if you really dig into this image, you can see a huge inconsistency between 50 years ago and now. And how is that possible? We changed and grown so much in technology. Look at the phone in your pocket alone. That should be enough, yet the images are getting worse and worse. It's crazy. Anyways, enough about that subject. There's a little small thing I want to talk about here as well. As you can see, just step by step, original, you can see the shapes here. Still, you know, it's actually in there. And it takes a bit of a trained eye to recognize it just right off the bat from the original. But this is what we're left with. And I forgot to enhance this just a little tad here, because there's a little small interesting feature here. But first of all, just this shape alone, it looks natural, not too crazy. And then we got this sharp corner here, like a really kind of, you know, really sharp here. I must say it's broken here, but you gotta extrapolate. I mean, the moon's not fresh. And as far as I know, there's no one living on the moon. People will disagree with me. That's all fine. Believe what you want. We're just looking at something interesting here. I'm just looking for you know, just some clues of an ancient civilization, and I'm okay with that. But there's something interesting here. I forgot to slightly fixed up just a bit. As you can see, I'm not doing anything crazy. the stuff is actually in there. It does look at this point that I believe that this is like kind of an arch. And I look at this, it's almost seems like a bit hexagonal. I need to dive a bit deeper into that, but I found it an interesting feature just lying next to this quote-unquote crater. Because I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, it's the first time I'm really having my doubts if that is actually a crater. And those questions are valid. We should ask them continuously and look at the features and structures. Unfortunately, the quality is so low these days from NASA, or at least what they provide to us. 2012 Grill mission, Moon, Google that. You have 13,000 images from 2012. Get ready to be disappointed. It's true, and that's why I'm having a bit of an issue with NASA. I'm not saying it's not that crazy what I'm saying. This really got my attention. Look at that. It's a perfect 90-degree angle. And again, you kind of got this place where you're asking yourself, did a comment come from this angle? Or did it come from the other angle? Well, from this angle, removed it too soon, it's kind of impossible for me to leave this wall. If you would just draw a circle around here, let's say that's the impact radius. First of all, if that's true, let's zoom in and look at the little small details here. I can't find like any curve here that would say something in the dirt, rocks should be lined at least somewhat to show the other half of the radius of the crater. It's not in there. And that's the whole problem. I can go a bit a step further in this image. Anyway, I think I will continue this image. Be sure to follow me on Google+. Click here. I post sometimes stuff like this one. No video about it, just enhance it, post it for you so you can look at it for yourself. I'm trying to really encourage that, you know, there's so much more going on and it's so interesting just if it's natural, whatever you believe. I'm trying to keep a neutral standpoint, but I'm sorry, but there's so much going on in there. I can't just say that this is a simple crater. And just ask basic questions. Check out some craters like I did. They're huge, amazing articles, everything. Like we've shown you so many pictures, high resolution pictures of craters. So much going on. And there's also something else I want to talk about. A little small feature again. But again, you know, there's even when you look at this, and just a bit here, there's a small separation in this corner. So I would not take this necessarily seriously. But when I would draw this out, the third line here, it almost seems like, I don't know, a buried cube or something. Really? We don't know. But it does seem to be that way. On close inspection, I remember now. No, this line actually here is sitting beyond, behind this rectangular weird shape. Even, you know, just to finish this off, this is pretty hard, and I know this is a lot of crazy stuff you're hearing here. I hope that this makes sense. It took a lot of preparation to do so, trying to answer all your questions. Can't do that in a 5-minute video. Understand that. Hope you're still listening. Let's check this out, because I'm not quite sure about this one. There is a slight curve here, but the pixels here, it is a disturbance more or less. It seems almost like something is actually like a little small pillar standing up here, which would increase the thought here that it's impossible to have an asteroid blast from this side, maybe from the right top part, then blast here. But then again, I would expect to see more though. It's quite the thing. And scientists as well are really mind blown by how craters are being formed. And of course, you know, it's dependent on the composition of the material, etc. And by now you would expect that we would know what the composition is, so we'd be able to replicate this the past 40 years in laboratories. So I don't know, composition, not really, I don't really, shouldn't be an issue here, for scientists at least. You know, just guessing, I'm not one, definitely not what I'm doing. Well, Still a programmer, unfortunately. Did a lot of things here and there. This was quite interesting, not that clear. Definitely I did want to show it to you. It does seem again like a very interesting circle. You might not see it immediately. You might not actually. You can see here the debris is kind of, it's weird. And they got something in the center here, flying over like this, flying over like that. The quality isn't high enough in this region to really talk about this. And again, as always, I really take care of what I post on YouTube, because I do not want to be that next misleading conspiracy theory. I just really hope that, trying to inspire some people to get that passion back, to look at these images, because we have so many open questions, and just ask them. As you can see, still got that little circle here, but when we look at the original quality, there's not much to talk about in terms of, hold on, let me remove this. Let me draw this out. About this little vague spot here. There's definitely a line here, definitely a line there. You should be able to see this in the original one, as always. More or less or not, don't know how trained your eyes are, but it's as you can see. I'm only merely enhancing just for, just to share this, just to show everyone, even if you're new. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But this one, you can't trust that one. And I will always, tell my videos, look, I'm having issues with that one. Don't get too deep in it. And ignore this region, go into that region. That region is completely destroyed. Would not even dare to look at. It's true, a lot of people would say you have to look everywhere. I'm trying, but some regions are just not worth the time, honestly. And that's the truth. You have to distinguish these different qualities. But there's so much more going on. I bet you if you would go to check out the description, check out the official link, check out the enhanced version, because everything what you see here, all my work, is being shared generously on my Google+. So please do follow me on Google+. Do not forget to subscribe, leave a like, and I wish you a very nice weekend. And I will continue doing this manually, everything. And it's been a long while since I've done so much manual work actually on an image, but it's definitely worth it. So check out the arsenal of links in the description, and thank you so much if you're still listening. You are too awesome. You are definitely a rare kind, and you are definitely interested. You do want answers and questions. You do want to check this out. Thank you so much for your interest. Thank you so much for your support. Most of all, because I wouldn't be here this day without you. I would just keep this all to myself, like I've been doing for so many years, and it's not that fun, because at some point it was like, all right, let's quit for a year, I'm done, seen it, yeah, it's clear, and then I'm coming back. But it gets so boring. It's so much more fun to share this and to find so many people that are interested in this as well. Probably a long video, but I couldn't help it. But when people see like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, oh my gosh, I'm not going to click that. Can't find the time for that. Very unfortunate. Next week, something special. Been preparing for this. I have a huge backlog in videos. I'm going to attempt to do it every day. I don't know when it will start, maybe Monday, Tuesday. I will do it for a week or two. We will see how that will go. Can't promise anything though. It depends on life. Life is a relative thing and dynamic, you don't know. But I'm trying really my best here. Follow me on Google+, subscribe, like, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.